Ladies and gentlemen, every morning as the world awakens, so too does the opportunity to shape our inner dialogue. The words we speak to ourselves are more than fleeting thoughts, they are seeds planted in the fertile soil of our minds. If we nurture them with care, they bloom into the beliefs that guide our lives. Today, let me share with you 9 things to tell yourself every day, words to align you with the rhythm of existence, to ground you, inspire you, and remind you of the vastness of your potential. I am part of something greater than myself. You are not just an isolated fragment. Like waves on the ocean, you rise and fall, always connected to the infinite whole. This moment is all I need to focus on. The past cannot hold you, and the future does not yet exist. Anchor yourself in the only reality that matters, the present. I have the power to choose my response. The world may stir storms around you, but within lies a calm center where your choices take root. Mistakes are not failures, but lessons. Each stumble shapes you, teaching resilience, wisdom, and grace. See them for the gifts they are. I release what I cannot control, like trying to grasp the wind. Holding on to what isn't yours to hold only brings frustration. Let go and find peace. I am enough. Just as I am, you need not earn your worth. It is inherent, unshakable, and infinite. Growth comes through discomfort. The strongest trees grow in the fiercest winds. Embrace challenges as nature's way of guiding you to your highest self. Joy is found in the simple things, the warmth of the sun, the laughter of a friend, the stillness of the night. These are life's true treasures. I am grateful for this moment. Gratitude opens the heart and invites abundance. Begin and end your day with this sacred acknowledgement. These affirmations are not rigid rules, but gentle reminders, a way to harmonize with life's rhythm. Speak them not as mere words, but as truths you embody. Let them guide your journey, not to a distant destination, but into the fullness of the life you are living now. Life is a journey, not a fixed destination, and its essence lies in movement, change, and transformation. To truly embrace the flow of life, we must first understand its nature. It is dynamic, ever-changing, and beyond complete control. Think of a river. Its waters twist and turn, rushing in some areas, still in others, always finding a path forward. Life, too, unfolds in this manner, carrying us through calm pools and turbulent rapids. Resisting this flow is like trying to hold water in our hands. The tighter we grip, the more it slips away. To embrace life's flow is to cultivate a sense of trust, not blind optimism, but a deep-seated belief that life's natural rhythm will guide us. This trust requires letting go of the need for certainty. Much of our struggle arises from clinging to rigid expectations or trying to control every detail of our lives. We plan meticulously, striving to force outcomes, but the truth is that life rarely follows our script. Unexpected detours and surprises are inevitable. Rather than resisting, we can learn to adapt, to dance with life's unpredictability. This is not passivity, it is flexibility, the strength to bend without breaking. Resistance often stems from fear of failure, loss, or the unknown. But when we resist, we create tension within ourselves. Imagine swimming against a strong current. The harder you push, the more exhausted you become, and the less ground you cover. In contrast, when you flow with the current, aligning your movements with its energy, you are carried forward effortlessly. This does not mean surrendering to fate or abandoning your aspirations. It means working with life rather than against it, understanding that sometimes the path of least resistance leads to the greatest growth. One of the most profound ways to embrace life's flow is by cultivating presence. The present moment is all we truly have, yet we often squander it by dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Flow exists only in the now. When we immerse ourselves fully in the present, we align with life's natural rhythm. Whether it's savoring a meal, listening deeply to a friend, or marveling at a sunset, being present transforms even the simplest moments into profound experiences. Letting go is another essential part of flowing with life. Letting go does not mean giving up, it means releasing what no longer serves you, be it a toxic relationship, outdated beliefs, or unattainable expectations. Like a tree shedding its leaves in autumn, letting go creates space for new growth. It is an act of trust, a recognition that life's cycles are necessary and beautiful. Clinging to what was or fearing what might be keeps us stuck. But when we release, we free ourselves to move forward. Embracing life's flow also means recognizing and accepting impermanence. Everything is in a state of flux: our relationships, careers, bodies, and even our emotions. This can be unsettling, but it's also what makes life vibrant and meaningful. The fleeting nature of life urges us to cherish each moment, to appreciate the beauty of the here and now without trying to freeze it in time. There's a profound wisdom in nature that teaches us how to flow. Rivers do not resist the rocks in their path, they flow around them. Trees do not struggle against the wind, they sway with it. Likewise, we can navigate challenges by adapting rather than resisting, finding strength in our flexibility. This approach does not mean avoiding effort or difficulty. On the contrary, it means embracing them as integral parts of the journey, trusting that even life's hardships carry lessons and opportunities for growth. To embrace the flow of life is ultimately to accept its unpredictability with grace. It is to recognize that we are part of a vast interconnected whole, moving in harmony with forces far greater than ourselves. It is about releasing the illusion of control and stepping into the dance of existence with curiosity, openness, and a deep sense of wonder. In doing so, we discover that the flow of life is not something to be mastered, but something to be experienced, celebrated, and loved. Impermanence is an intrinsic aspect of life, woven into the fabric of existence. At first glance, the fleeting nature of everything, relationships, possessions, even our own bodies, might seem unsettling. Many of us instinctively resist change, clinging to what we know and trying to preserve moments, people, or situations as they are. Yet it is precisely this impermanence that holds the key to true freedom. Understanding and embracing it can transform the way we view ourselves, others, and the world around us. Everything in life is in a constant state of change. From the seasons shifting to the inevitable passage of time, impermanence is the rhythm of existence. Nothing remains static. Life is a dynamic interplay of beginnings and endings, gains and losses. This universal truth can feel daunting when we attach ourselves to the idea of permanence. We long for relationships to remain the same, for happiness to endure indefinitely, for our youth to defy the passage of time. But clinging to these desires only breeds suffering, as it pits us against the natural order of life. Impermanence is not something to fight against, it is something to understand, embrace, and even celebrate. The beauty of impermanence lies in its power to remind us of life's preciousness. The knowledge that nothing lasts forever imbues each moment with significance. A sunset would not be as breathtaking if it lasted eternally. A flower's bloom is all the more poignant because we know it will wither. Similarly, the transient nature of our experiences invites us to savor them fully, to be present, and to appreciate the fleeting beauty of every moment. Without impermanence, life would lose its vibrancy, its urgency, and its depth. Freedom arises when we accept impermanence as a fundamental truth. This acceptance liberates us from the burden of clinging to what we cannot control. It allows us to let go of attachments that weigh us down, attachments to possessions, outcomes, and even identities. When we stop holding on so tightly, we create space for something new to emerge. Just as a tree must shed its leaves to make room for new growth, we too must release what no longer serves us. In this release, we find freedom not from responsibility or connection, but from the illusion that things should stay the same. Impermanence also teaches us resilience. Life's inevitable changes often come with challenges: the loss of a loved one, the end of a relationship, or the disappointment of unmet expectations. Yet these experiences are not final. They are part of life's flow, and their temporary nature means that healing and growth are always possible. When we understand that pain and joy, like waves, come and go, we develop the strength to endure difficult times, knowing they will pass, just as happiness does. This perspective does not diminish our experiences, but rather allows us to face them with grace and equanimity. Furthermore, impermanence encourages us to approach life with a sense of openness and curiosity. When we cling to the past or fear the future, we limit our ability to fully engage with the present. But when we accept that change is inevitable, we free ourselves to explore new possibilities and embrace the unknown. Each moment becomes an opportunity for renewal, a chance to rewrite our story and redefine our path. Impermanence invites us to view life as a continuous process of transformation, where every ending is also a beginning. Our relationships, too, are enriched by this understanding. Knowing that the people we love will not be with us forever deepens our appreciation for them. It encourages us to express gratitude, to resolve conflicts with compassion, and to cherish the time we have together. Impermanence reminds us not to take anything for granted, to be fully present with those who matter most, and to live in a way that honors the transient nature of life. Ultimately, impermanence is not a limitation but a gift. It teaches us to let go of fear and embrace the ever-changing dance of existence. It reminds us that life's value lies not in its permanence but in its fleeting, ephemeral moments. By accepting impermanence, we free ourselves from the chains of attachment and step into a world of possibility, where every moment is an invitation to live deeply, love fiercely, and embrace the boundless freedom that change brings. Life often feels like a puzzle, a series of problems demanding solutions. From the moment we wake, our minds race to fix, plan, and strategize as if the purpose of existence lies in unraveling a tangled web of challenges. But what if life isn't a problem to solve? What if, instead, it's an experience to embrace, a journey to be lived, not dissected? Shifting this perspective transforms our relationship with life, freeing us from the constant pressure to get it right, and inviting us to explore its beauty, mystery, and depth. The notion of life as a problem stems from our desire for control. We yearn for certainty, for neatly packaged answers that eliminate uncertainty and discomfort. This mindset frames challenges as obstacles to be overcome, as if a perfect, problem-free existence awaits us on the other side. Yet life's very nature defies such simplicity. It is vast, unpredictable, and often beyond our comprehension. Treating it as a puzzle to be solved reduces its richness to a narrow framework of right and wrong, success and failure. In doing so, we miss the profound experiences that come from simply being present with life as it unfolds. This tendency to problem-solve life often creates more tension than relief. We become consumed by striving for perfection, security, or happiness, as if these states are fixed destinations. But striving implies a lack, a belief that something is missing or broken. It keeps us trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction, where even our achievements feel insufficient because they don't provide lasting resolution. This cycle arises not because life is inherently flawed, but because we view it through a lens of fixing rather than flowing. When we stop treating life as a problem, we begin to see it for what it truly is, a dynamic interplay of experiences, emotions, and relationships. Life is messy and unpredictable, but it is also vibrant and full of wonder. It cannot be confined to rigid categories of good or bad, success or failure. Instead, it is a mosaic of moments, some joyful, some painful, and many that defy easy classification. Embracing this complexity allows us to engage with life more authentically, appreciating its depth without needing to force it into tidy solutions. One of the keys to shifting this mindset is cultivating acceptance. Acceptance does not mean resignation or passivity. It means acknowledging life as it is, without resistance or judgment. When we accept that uncertainty, change, and imperfection are inherent aspects of existence, we free ourselves from the need to control every outcome. This acceptance creates space for curiosity and openness, allowing us to engage with life's challenges not as problems to be fixed, but as opportunities for growth and exploration. Living without the compulsion to solve life also deepens our ability to experience joy. When we let go of the constant search for solutions, we become more present in the here and now. We notice the simple pleasures, the warmth of sunlight on our skin, the laughter of a child, the taste of a favorite meal. These moments, often overlooked in our quest for answers, become sources of profound contentment. Joy, we realize, is not found in solving life's mysteries, but in embracing its unfolding. This shift in perspective also transforms how we approach challenges. Instead of seeing them as roadblocks, we begin to view them as invitations to grow. Life's difficulties are not problems to be eradicated, but teachers offering wisdom. Pain, loss, and uncertainty are part of the human experience, and they shape us in ways that ease never could. By facing these moments with courage and compassion, we discover resilience and strength we didn't know we had. Ultimately, treating life as something to be solved limits its vastness. It narrows our focus to outcomes and answers, distracting us from the beauty of the journey itself. Life is not a destination, it is a dance, a song, a story unfolding moment by moment. It doesn't demand solutions, it invites participation. When we stop trying to fix life and start living it, we step into a deeper connection with ourselves, others, and the world around us. We find freedom not in having all the answers, but in embracing the questions and mysteries that make life so profoundly human. Happiness is one of the most sought-after states in life, yet it remains elusive for many. This is because we often approach happiness as a goal to be achieved, a prize waiting at the end of a journey filled with accomplishments, possessions, or perfect circumstances. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I get the job, find the right partner, buy the house, or achieve this milestone, but when those moments arrive, the happiness we anticipated often feels fleeting, leaving us yearning for the next achievement or external validation. This cycle perpetuates a sense of dissatisfaction because happiness, as we come to understand, is not a destination, it is a byproduct of how we live, think, and engage with life. The pursuit of happiness as an end goal creates a paradox: the harder we chase it, the farther away it seems. This is because happiness is not something to be grasped or held, it arises naturally when we align ourselves with a life of meaning, connection, and presence. Treating happiness as a destination often causes us to miss the moments that actually create it. Instead of immersing ourselves in the beauty of the present, we become preoccupied with a future that never quite arrives in the way we imagine. True happiness emerges when we engage fully with life as it unfolds. It is not found in the attainment of things, but in the quality of our experiences and the relationships we nurture. Happiness blooms when we cultivate gratitude, appreciate the small joys, and find meaning in the ordinary. A warm conversation with a loved one, the satisfaction of helping someone in need, or the simple act of watching a sunrise, all of these moments have the power to bring happiness, but only if we are present enough to notice them. Moreover, happiness is often the byproduct of pursuing goals and activities that resonate with our values and passions. When we immerse ourselves in endeavors that give us a sense of purpose, happiness follows naturally. For example, an artist absorbed in creating a painting, a teacher guiding students toward understanding, or a volunteer making a difference in their community may not be actively chasing happiness. Yet in those moments of deep engagement and alignment with what matters, they often feel a profound sense of fulfillment and joy. This intrinsic form of happiness is distinct from the fleeting pleasure we derive from external rewards. Pleasure, while enjoyable, is temporary and often dependent on external conditions. A new gadget, an award, or even a vacation may bring temporary delight, but it fades as the novelty wears off or the next challenge arises. True happiness, by contrast, is more sustainable because it comes from within. It is rooted in our ability to connect with ourselves, others, and the world in meaningful ways. Understanding that happiness is a byproduct also helps us navigate life's inevitable challenges. No one is immune to pain, loss, or disappointment, yet these experiences do not preclude happiness. In fact, they often deepen our capacity for it. By embracing the full spectrum of emotions, including sorrow and struggle, we develop resilience and gratitude for the moments of joy. Happiness is not about avoiding discomfort, but about finding peace and meaning amidst it. It is the result of cultivating a mindset that allows us to appreciate the good without denying the reality of the difficult. One of the most liberating aspects of seeing happiness as a byproduct is that it shifts our focus from trying to control outcomes to simply living well. When we let go of the need to manufacture happiness and instead focus on being kind, curious, and present, we create the conditions for happiness to arise naturally. It is no longer something we chase, but something we discover in the midst of a life fully lived. Ultimately, happiness is less about where we arrive and more about how we travel. It is not the result of perfect circumstances, but of a mindset that allows us to find beauty, meaning, and joy in the imperfect reality of life. By focusing on purpose, presence, and connection, we cultivate a life where happiness is not a distant destination, but a constant companion, arising naturally from the way we choose to engage with the world. Life is a tapestry woven from contrasts, light and dark, joy and sorrow, love and loss. This duality is not just a characteristic of existence, it is its essence. Without one, the other cannot exist. It is in this interplay of opposites that life reveals its depth, meaning, and beauty. Understanding and embracing this duality allows us to see life not as a series of separate experiences, but as an interconnected whole where each part enhances the other. Consider the way we experience light. Its brilliance is most striking when it emerges from darkness. A sunrise feels magical after a long cold night precisely because the contrast between the two intensifies our appreciation. Similarly, moments of joy shine brightest when juxtaposed against the backdrop of hardship. It is through struggle and challenge that we come to truly value ease and happiness. Without the lows, the highs lose their significance. Without pain, we would take comfort for granted. Duality also teaches us the interconnectedness of all things. Opposites are not enemies, they are partners in the dance of life. Just as the ocean's waves rise and fall, life oscillates between polarities, creating rhythm and balance. Day turns to night, and night gives way to day. Each complements the other, creating a cycle that sustains and nourishes existence. This rhythm invites us to stop resisting the natural ebb and flow of life and instead embrace its dynamic balance. In our personal lives, duality manifests as the coexistence of strength and vulnerability, joy and grief, success and failure. Often we label experiences as good or bad, clinging to one and rejecting the other. Yet it is through our challenges that we grow, through our failures that we learn, and through our losses that we discover the depth of our love. Joy and sorrow are not opposites to be separated, they are two sides of the same coin, each giving the other its meaning. The beauty of duality is also evident in our emotions. Feeling deeply, whether it is happiness or sadness, reminds us that we are alive, capable of connection and empathy. Love, for instance, often brings with it vulnerability and the risk of heartbreak. Yet it is this very vulnerability that makes love so profound. If love carried no risk, it would lack its transformative power. Duality teaches us that life's most meaningful experiences are those that encompass both light and shadow. By embracing duality, we begin to see life with greater clarity and compassion. We no longer fear discomfort or sorrow, knowing they are integral to the human experience. Instead of striving for a life free of difficulty, we find beauty in the balance, appreciating each moment for what it offers. Duality does not divide, it completes. It reminds us that life's richness comes from its contrasts, that every dark night carries the promise of dawn, and that within each challenge lies the seed of growth. To see the beauty of duality is to see the beauty of life itself. The beauty of duality lies in its ability to reveal the interconnectedness and richness of life. By embracing both light and shadow, joy and sorrow, we come to appreciate the depth and meaning of our experiences. Duality teaches us that life's contrasts are not to be feared but celebrated, as they complete and enhance one another. It reminds us that within every challenge lies growth, and that every dark night carries the promise of dawn. To accept and honor this balance is to fully embrace the beauty of life itself.